Okay, right, we're just going to work on the basic reverse punch, cross as you call it in boxing. What we want to achieve is to get to use the hip and the body rather than just the shoulder. Relaxed stance, obviously close to a front stance. You don't need to be in a really big stance. Yeah, nice relaxed stance, and all we're going to do is to begin with, just as a warm-up, hand on hip. So we throw the hip first, then the punch. Obviously, in a fight, you'd have your hands here to protect yourself, guard there, but it's still using the same motion. Plant your feet. Some people come up with their toes. I prefer to plant them so solidly down, but that choice is yours. So the motion, if we can get going, I'll just have Matthew. The motion we want is hand on hip. Again, this is just a drill. You wouldn't start with your hand on hip. Swing your hip, then punch and twisting over the fist. The reason we twist over the fist is you can do vertical punches to the body. I wouldn't advise it to the face because it's quite easy to break the smaller knuckles. So we twist over and we're striking with these two knuckles, which are pretty strong. So I'm going to throw, I'm going to mark, throw my hip, and strike. Also bring the hip slightly back. There's no point starting from there because there's no rotation. Yeah? So here, hip, then fist. Again, you don't want to do it at the same time. You want to do it slightly before so you're coiled, like when you're throwing or when you're hitting a tennis ball. There. There. Okay? So basically, a good way, in the mirror, hand on hip to begin with, throw the hip, then the punch. Throw the hip, then the punch. When you're confident, throw the hip, then the punch. Remember to open it up as well, because there's hardly force there, there's force there. Another training aid that helps is to use an elbow because it forces you to use your hip. So if you just throw the elbow across the MP, it's forcing you to twist. So then coming back to the punch, you get more hip movement. Okay, it doesn't have to be. Trouble is, a lot of them, if you're starting off in a deep karate stance, it's hard to get motion. So I'd say start off in your fudadatch, your lighter stance, then you can turn into a deeper, into your zenkutsudatch. That way you're also adding the forward motion as well as the twisting motion. Okay, we're going to do the same technique on the pad. Again, we're going to start from here, we're going to do a few from here, then we're going to do the same movement from here. It's the same movement, but as a beginner I find people find it locked on the hip, so they've got something to push the hand off. People look at karate with hand on hip. Yeah, it's not the way we'd fight in combat. What the hip movement is for, it's a pulling hand. So if I pull down and striking, it's called a hikate. So I'm pulling and striking, seize the opponent, putting them off balance. So it's there, pull, here. So with the reverse punch, come in here, pulling the hand down, seizing the target. And then I've got his hand so I can follow up whatever takedown I wish. Okay, so now onto the strike. So again, slowly to begin with, hip, then fist, there. I'll just punch with just my shoulder like a lot of people do. Yeah, you can get quite a bit of power. There. Now with the hip, you can see there's more rotational force as well as the pulling force. Now from here, exactly the same, but again the beginners will find it harder, so it's nice to launch off with the hip. So I've got to remember, twist the hip and through. So again here, from this stance, passive stance, you can even do it fairly neutral, passive stance, and you just need to rock there, so it's from nowhere. So even closer. So I'm using my snap on the hip. There. You don't want to sell it too much, but you've always got time. If you're looking in the eyes, turn your body back. There. There. Aiming for this part of the jaw. 2 knuckles will do the trick. More aggressive opponent, obviously, nice one in the throat. And sinking down, and there. Obviously the reverse punch, Gyaku zuki, is one of the first basic punches. You can use hooks, uppercuts, back fists, but the advantage with the straight punch is that even if my target moves backwards, I can hit him. If I went for a hook and he saw it and just moved his head, he's out. There. 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 Obviously these sort of punches are better in closer range. But I'm here, I deliver a straight punch, he moves back, I still strike the target. So from here, there. Yeah. So even if he's moving back a lot, there. Now if we come into more of a fighting range, now see how hard it is to move away. Do it slower. Slower. Yeah. Yeah. It's hardly happening.